Hello, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be using the Ahoy Matey stamp set from Fawn. I saw a really cute card I wanted to case from Joyce Heinen, I believe. She does a lot of cards for Fawn. And I also wanted to use my MFT Stamps Cloud stencils. You're also seeing a reflection of a little tiny ring light that's actually meant for a cell phone that I put above, because it does add some extra light, but it's going to reflect off of the shiny surfaces. So I am just kind of free forming an orange cloud sky in the middle of the paper, and I'm going to be using a die to cut out a portion of it for the background of the card. So I'm just doing enough layers because I do want to leave some open at the bottom for the sentiment, and just kind of figuring out which ones are going to look best with each other. So I turn it 4 times, but then the first one again isn't really going to blend well, so I just pick another one. And then I'm just cleaning off my brush off to the right. I get a lot of fuzzies and different things. There's also, just because the ink is so sticky, a lot of fuzzies in even the cloud image as well. So I think I wipe those off kind of towards the end. So then I'm going to cut it out with one of the rectangle set of the outside in stitched scalloped rectangles. I think I didn't label my packaging because the name was so long. I didn't feel like doing it at the time. But it's the one that cuts out the whole it's not a frame. It's the one that cuts out the whole rectangle, and it's got scallops and stitches. And then I'm just going to run this through my Big Shot. And I got these new teal plates from Cheyenne, and she is so awesome. She got extra ones and she mailed them to me. And they are much better than the ones that I had before because they were getting warped. So then I'm just going to slowly pull that off to make sure the sticky doesn't pick up or mess up any of the ink. And then I'll pop that out, and I'm going to set that aside so we can work on the images. And I'm just wiping off fuzzies that got stuck to the ink. It's my least favorite thing about ink blending, but aside from getting like a little dust cover for my brushes, it's kind of hard to avoid. So I should probably look into that. So for the coloring, I'm going to be using the Spectrum Noir Triblend markers, and I'll show you the name of each one that I use before I use it. I've been reaching for these a lot lately just because they already have the 3 colors in them. I have favorites for sure, and a lot of them are favorites. There are only maybe 3 that the blend either isn't different enough, so the colors don't look any different, like it's all 3 colors just kind of meld into, and by the time you've blended all 3 of them, it looks like one color, like there isn't a gradient, or the 3 colors in the marker aren't a very good blend. But there are only a few of those, so there's still a really great set that I love reaching for because I don't want to have to think about Copics sometimes. And I like a lot of these colors. So I end up coloring this whole page with the Triblends, not all the Triblends, but it is all Triblends. And then I decided on my card I wanted a lot of the gems, and I knew I wanted them to be teal. So I did 8 of those. This set, I waited on it for a long time. It's not new, obviously. I just got it recently, and I had actually ordered it. Oh, I want to talk about this. So I'm setting 2 markers on top of each other to show you where shadows would be. So when you're shading the darker part of items, like these coins that are under other coins, I saw that marker trick from a live that Kelly did. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm probably going to say it wrong, but it's either Lativola or Latevola. I don't know if I've ever heard her say it, but she did a live and she showed that marker thing to kind of show why she was shading something underneath something else. So if that makes sense, that's what I was showing you there. But I had purchased this set on Amazon. I think I purchased the dies as well, but they came separately, which is annoying when Amazon wants to ship one item at a time. But, and they could have been from different sellers, but now I can't remember. But anyway, when the stamps showed up, the packaging was messed up also, and it was like slit open and the stamps were falling out. But also the stamps were fake, and I could tell right away. Not only was some of the font different, which is what these counterfeit companies do, but the stamps felt like that crappy acrylic or silicone that isn't sticky at all or strong. It's very weak, and it just feels like, I don't know, it's hard to describe. But photopolymer stamps are very sticky, which is how they maintain ink. And so, long story short, I sorted it out with the seller, and they actually sell, they buy wholesale from Lawn Fawn and they sell it. They didn't have a lot, but they said what probably happened was someone bought one and then returned it, but they returned a counterfeit one, kept the real one, and it just got restocked by Amazon and then given to me by Amazon, because Amazon doesn't know. An Amazon employee isn't going to know, a counterfeit item from a real one necessarily, especially if they don't know anything about stamps. And so that's probably what happened, but they returned it just fine. And then I bought this directly from Lawn Fawn because I had some other stuff I wanted. So I actually got this on the Lawn Fawn website. The dies that came were just fine. Those were accurate. I've purchased many Lawn Fawn items on Amazon from different sellers, and that was the first time that anything had gone wrong. So I was very surprised. I was not surprised that it was counterfeit. I know that happens. But I was surprised that it had taken that long to get something like that from Amazon. And what's weird is that I think what I thought was, I'm showing you here that when I open the red marker, and it's almost always red, I get kind of a spray. So I've been trying to open these markers away from my images because they're kind of spraying the ink. The pressure from being in the lid is like spraying onto the paper. So I'm trying to open them away so I'm not ruining my images. Luckily, it was kind of in between the images and you can't really see it that well, but that's been happening. So I'm trying to open them like under the desk or away from my paper. On Amazon, I think what I thought was the seller is actually the manufacturer. So the manufacturer said Lawn Fawn, like the brand of the item. And I didn't check the seller, although the seller was reputable. I messaged with them about it. It wasn't really their fault. It just got restocked at Amazon as a return. And Amazon gave me, which was not okay, a taped up, half opened. The stamp set was even on the back of the Lawn Fawn blue card that comes in the sleeve, which is ridiculous. So, anyway, it got resolved, but there's kind of a flaw in the system when it goes back to the Amazon warehouse and can just be resent out by an Amazon employee, even though it's a damaged package, which is just going to happen. It's just unfortunate. So I'm trying to give this lid some shading. I think I put the shading under kind of the top of the lid. Probably should have been around the coins as well, but it turned out fine. This set is really cute, and it actually can be combined. I believe Joyce combined it with other sets because there are other things in her image. I think she included the anchor. probably from the boat set, the large anchor, and some other things. And I was thinking about this the other day, maybe even yesterday, maybe when I was making this card, that Lawn Fawn has got to be, in my mind, probably the best stamp company, my favorite, because, I mean, I didn't doubt that they were my favorite, but their images and their sets are so like mixable just because they're all so similar in size and, you know, what the little people look like and what the character critters look like. And they have come a long way. And now I understand why, you know, they have an old dinosaur set and they have a new dinosaur set because their look has changed. And they want you to be able to mix and match all of these sets to, you know, create the card that you're looking for. There's so many people out there who mix and match so many Lawn Fawn sets just for one card to make something so cool and to have all these tiny little components in them. And it's my favorite. And one of these days I'll bring myself to do that. In this case, I just wanted to stamp stuff from this set. I'm getting better at stamping multiples of an item, like all of these gems, because I wanted extra gems. So rather than just thinking that, you know, I'm limited to one set, I stamp one of everything and I make a card with it. I'm trying to branch out a little bit and also trying to use more than one set and several things from each of them to make more. I call them crowded cards because they just have a lot of stuff on them, but I do want to make more of them. I think sometimes if I were to do that, and in the past, I think I've just felt bad. Like I didn't want to, because I didn't want someone to think that, oh, I want to make this exact card, because that's exactly what I do. I buy a stamp set to make a card someone made, because why wouldn't you? We're all guilty of it. I don't want someone to be like, ugh, great, now I have to buy 5 stamp sets just to make this one dumb card with all of these little elements, because you see this little tiny image and all of a sudden it's from another set. It's not from the main set, or, you know, somebody used 4 or 5 sets to make one card. It makes it harder to purchase things and want to recreate something. Because then it quickly becomes out of your budget to do so. So that's one of the reasons I kind of stayed away from doing that. I think maybe combining a couple sets is reasonable, but I just hate to be the person to, you know, show somebody a card that involved 5 Lawn Fawn sets that they don't have. It's kind of the same feeling I have about, or had about, you know, doing haul videos, and I had to get over that because I just wanted to do them. I never want anyone to feel bad about not being able to purchase stamps or anything like that, but I also don't want to hide stuff. I get some really good ideas from haul videos and stamps, or stamp sets I didn't know about, or companies I didn't know about. Or new companies that have really cute things that I want to support. So people can, you know, each figure out their own budget and what they're able to purchase. And I can't, you know, not do haul videos just because I think, you know, somebody's going to feel bad or something. So if you're worried about those, don't worry about doing a haul video. There are some people that do it in excess. I've definitely purchased many things I haven't even shown you guys because it's just too much and I can't stop. And I also don't want to do a haul video for everything. But enough about that. I'm trying to picture the boat from Smooth Sailing, because this one is kind of similar. This one has sails. It's more like a pirate boat, obviously. But I think they're kind of close. And that's what I mean. They kind of look similar, so you could put both of those boats in like a scene and that would look very cute. So that's how Lawn Fawn is so versatile. So I am lifting up this back piece. It's just going to go onto a normal card base, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card base. So the card base is going to peek out from behind these scallops, but that's fine. I probably should have used a colored cardstock for my card base, but it was too late. I probably would have used like a blue or something. So I peeled those off camera. This video is getting very long as it was. So I'm just going to stick that down to the card base. And then we are going to work on figuring out where these images are going to sit on the card. It gets kind of crowded. I'm not very good at doing that on the spot, so I had paused while I was trying to figure out where things were going to go and who was going to be holding what, because you have to be kind of careful. And I'm actually gluing the map down to her hand and her hair to hold that. And then he's going to be holding the parrot, I believe, or the red bird that I colored. So I am putting images together before I'm sticking them both down. When I deal with images, I want to, little things that people are going to be holding, I have to be careful because I don't want to cover up too much of their body. So I have to pick the right item for them to hold. And she worked out better with the map and he worked out better with the bird. And then on either Joyce's card or somewhere else, sorry, I had to yawn. It's very early in the morning. On Joyce's card or somewhere else, those little hill thingies, I think she had them colored gray, and I was like, are these rocks? Are they mountains? I don't know. I colored them like dirt hill mountains in the back. I don't know. I know I wanted the boat to be in the water, and creating scenes is not that easy for me. Like trying to make things look like they're in the right spot. She's just going to have to cover the boat a little bit because I don't want her covering the bird. So then I use the gems to kind of, put at the base of the tree and try and put in front of things to kind of create more of a scene and cover up where, it doesn't look right. Like the base of the tree is just floating in the sky right now. So that's what's hard for me and it looks silly. So I'm just kind of placing these gems all over. And that's why I did a lot of them. So I could do that. And my phone, when I filmed this, split this into 2 parts. I'm hoping that I can pay attention to the clock as I'm doing this voiceover and not catch myself off guard before I do the second part. It was only like, if it's sped up as it is now, it's only another minute or so, but my phone did cut it off. I think it just can't handle it. Like hits a certain file size and then it starts. It doesn't interrupt, which is good, but it creates a second file on my phone and keeps filming. So it could be worse. So here I put the happy birthday, the comma, and the Matey. And I had stamped it off on, because I haven't used this set yet, I stamped it off on paper several times to make sure that it stamped properly. Because the first time it stamps, any stamp set really for me, isn't the best. So I usually either clean my stamps first or stamp it off to get the kind of the first initial sticky off of the stamps. And then I am just doing white accents where they feel appropriate. And then I'm also going to be using my art glitter glue, which is officially not my favorite for making something shiny. I think glossy accents is always going to be the better glue for that. The art glitter glue is just a little too foggy. It's white and it dries clear. I'm doing air quotes. I think it takes a lot longer. It dries clear, but it kind of dries like a matte clear. It's very hard to describe. I'll try and capture it in the picture of the image or the picture of the card, but glossy accents is a little foggy and dries clear, like it's a clear glue, but it just looks foggy in the bottle and it dries very shiny and good. So I think I'll just stick to that. But I do flood the glue over these gems and it turned out okay. But like I said, it's kind of like a matte finish shiny. It's hard to describe. You're not going to see them dry in this video because they were drying overnight. But it does technically dry clear. But there you go. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.